Hi everyone, it's Nicole and I'm here with another layout. Again, you can tell this was a kit that I put together during Kitted Up class, and it was using scraps. So now I want to do a layout with it. Now I have two pattern papers here, and I think I want to go with this one here. We'll probably just use one of the big ones. I don't know if I want to do two photos or only one. The only reason I'd want to do just one is that you can stick way more scraps of pattern papers with one photo. Two photos, and especially where this is a circle, it's kind of going to limit. So I'm going to cut this down to 4x4. There we go. I kind of like them off to one side like that. I kind of like this too, but so this was a couple summers ago. It was his first year of playing soccer, so he was 4. And that kid, as much as he loves hockey, he loves soccer too. I remember he was like 1.5, 2 years old, and we had taken him to the zoo, and he had a soccer ball. And instead of just walking around the zoo, he literally kicked the soccer ball around the zoo. And people were stopping us and saying, how old is he? Like, he's controlling that ball pretty good. Like I think he's going to be a little sports dude. I think he's just going to love sports. Because, you know, he was like, well, can I play baseball too? My husband took him this summer just to hit some balls at a park here close to our house. And he was like, I was impressed. Like, after I showed him how, he was hitting the balls. Like, if I shot 20 at him, you know, threw 20 at him, he would hit like 15 of them. So he's just got a thing for sports, I think. I think he's going to be good. Just good at sports. And what we like is that, especially soccer, it's a different time than hockey. So it's like, okay, he can play that on the off season. No problem. And he loves it. I like this. I like that there's orange in this. And his shirt that year was orange. Now, I don't know if you could tell, but I have a lot of scraps. So I am going to try and, you know, use as many of those scraps as I possibly can. I'm going to try to use them in the sizes that they're in, but if I can't, then I'm just going to cut them down. But I'm going to try and use, you know, there's all different scraps here. What if I cut this in 2? I don't want to wait too long too before starting to glue things down, because one thing about scrap layouts is you find a way that you really like it, and if you don't glue it down, you just can't put it the same way after. And I mean, and it always seems that I don't like it as much the second time. It's like, oh, I wish I could put it like I did the first time. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to take Hickory Smoke, not black, because black is just too bold. Let me see if I can find Hickory Smoke here. I might already have it out. My scrap room is not a total disaster, but I have to say, I thought someone was here. I have to say that I do need to clean it up a bit. I'm thinking of starting this week. Now I have an appointment tomorrow and I work on Friday. But a couple things I want to do this week. I was actually, just before I started this, I started looking for stuff for December daily this year. Last year I got everything ready, so I'm still going to use whatever is in there, but I want to add a few more things. So I'll make a video of what I have in there and what I'm pulling. So I'll make a different pile for what I'm pulling this year. And because, and I've mentioned that many times, but I have the type of personality that if I don't do something that I said, oh yeah, I just didn't have time to do December daily last year. I took all the pictures. It's still not done. And it'll probably never get done, I'm thinking. Just because of, that's just how I roll. If I don't do it right away, I don't get it done. And that's why the mini album, like reading the books, it was like I was 3 months behind. I was like, okay, you got it, you're doing 1 month. Just do all 3 months in 1 week because it's not going to get done. So I got all of those 3 months done last week. And now it's done. I'm caught up. It feels great. And I think what I'm going to do, when I do my December daily, I don't choose like specific colors. What I do is for every day, I choose a specific color. So let's say December 1st, I'll say today I'm doing green and red. And everything I pick for that day is green and red. So maybe in preparation, I'm going to try and maybe prep my cards so that I'm ahead. Because you know how December gets, right? It's so crazy. There's just so much going on. I have a lot of December off this year because I was supposed to work December 25th, 26th, 27th, and I took those off. And I'm really happy right now because Mason was invited to be, there's a 2-line tournament, it's called. And this coach contacted Dave, my husband, and to see if Mason wanted to be on the team. He wanted Mason to be on his team for this tournament. And we were like, yes. So that's December 27th, 28th, 29th. So I'm glad that I'm off because I don't want to miss that. And we already know all his tournaments after Christmas. And of course, I'm working for some of them. So I've already talked to 3 people and they're all willing to help me. So if something happens that one is unable to, one girl said she'll do all of them, like whether it's just to come in so that for the time that Mason has his hockey game, and then I can repay her, come in for her, 2 hours or 3 hours during her shift. And then, or she said, if you want to put for the days off, I'll sign up so you get the day off. So, yay. So that's good because I was kind of like, no, I don't want to miss any of his hockey tournaments. Like, same as with Josh. When Josh was in hockey, I, did everything that I could. I think the last 4 or 5 years, I didn't miss one of his hockey game. And that's saying something because I was working full time. So it was a lot of switching with people, and but I did it. And I'm really happy that I did. Okay, this says you and me. And I'm thinking him and the ball, And this is summertime, so I'm going to put some of these. I'm going to try and put some more pattern papers because why not? These were all, they were going to get, not shocked because Well, it depends. Because I have to say, when I moved into this house and I got to some spot, you know, that I was packing and it was like a ton of scraps, I'm like, I've never even looked at those for 10 years. So I chucked the whole thing. I'm like, I'm not packing that. And, you know, if I showed you what I have for scraps now in 3 years, like, I have just as many, or if not more. So I'm really trying to use up some scraps. What I try to do now is when that drawer gets full, I make a bunch of page kits using my scraps. And then that way, I get to use them. And I knew I had way more scraps that I could use in this. Like, I knew that. But I'm just trying to use as many as I can. I like this little, I'll try and use that as an embellishment foundation. So I can use that here. So that's going to be one cluster. I was thinking, I could even just do one cluster, you know? They say you should do your clusters in equal numbers. Well, one is, or uneven numbers. Well, one is an uneven number. I could use that as part of my embellishment foundation. Cut it off. But if I want to use some of this stuff, I need more than one cluster. Remember these moments? Maybe I can use that somewhere else. I kind of like the round one here, and then I can put that here. That can almost be like my title right there. Oh, I like that there. And love. And I'm happy because next summer, I believe next summer, it's finally going to be like real soccer, if that makes any sense. But oh my goodness, a lot of the things with this, it's not like hockey at all. And I don't understand, because it's like they think the kids are not old enough. And it's like, so they do stuff like chase the flag. And it's like, you know, the kids don't like it. They want to play soccer. They want to be, you know, feel like they're learning something. And at the end of the soccer year, I think I would have liked it there, but because I have an embellishment cluster here, I'm going to move it over here, I think. I would have liked it there though. But let's see what we can do with this. I think we can still make it work. Yeah. So this is the time where I look at stuff like that. Like, I didn't like how this is kind of, so I'm going to try to find one sheet maybe of pattern paper and try to close that off. There's too many angles. Let me put it that way. Too many angles. So when I look at that, I'm like, ugh, I don't like it. So I like this pattern paper. Let's see if I can. I'm not going to need a big piece like that, but I'm trying to see how big a piece I need. So I can cut it right here. So I can take a pencil or a pen. I'd rather take a pencil and then just kind of mark where I need to cut that off. I'm kind of guessing where the pen is, or the mark is, but that's okay. I can lift that a little bit more and stick it under. because I've cut a lot of it down. I think I'm going to put it like that so it's a little bit higher, and then this has a place. Yeah, kind of like that. Okay, so let's put this down. It just kind of finishes that corner. So yes, I was saying like soccer, it's a lot of, I don't know, not a lot of soccer and a lot of like chase the flag and all this stuff. And all the kids want to do, and it's not just Mason, like all the kids, they're like, all we want to do is play soccer. Like teach them techniques, you know, dribble the ball and passing and that kind of stuff. It was a little better this year. Not as bad as last year, but it was still, I mean, with soccer, with hockey, I mean, they teach them stuff like, okay, maybe they might be a little too young for it, but you know what? By the end, they are doing it pretty good. Like they're learning. So, and if the kids love it, they're there because they love it. They try. And when they see themselves improving, it's like when we put Mason in BAM this summer. At first he was like, I don't like this. It's not fun. It's like the soccer thing. And we were like, no, it's actually different because they're actually teaching you how to skate better and how to do this better and all this stuff. And then when you start hockey in the fall, you'll be such a better skater. Anyway, within a couple of weeks, he was like, oh, I can see the improvement already, Mammy. Can you see the improvement? And he was like, yes, we can see the improvement. And then he was sold. He wants to go now. And the CCM hockey school, they're not playing hockey. They're learning how to pass, how to deke, you know, how to fake around a player. And he's loving it. So that's good. So he's my little player. But we told him he can't do too much because we're burnt out. And I mean, my daughter always goes too, but my husband is the coach for both, for hockey and for soccer. So he has to be there, even if Mason is sick or if Mason is away or whatever. He still has to go because he's the coach. And he's committed to the team. And, you know, we told the kids, you know, when you commit. Now, there's a couple times this summer he did ask because we wanted to, you know, go camping and stuff. But he was there for most of it. He only missed a few. And like I said, soccer at that age, it's not even real games. Like, it's just chasing the ball. I'm pretty sure next year is when he starts really playing soccer. So he's excited and we're excited. But at the end of the year, there was a note on our car. And it was like, you know, 5 sessions for $35. And that was good. He enjoyed that. That guy was a good coach. And he was teaching them stuff. And it was good. I think next year we're going to make sure to put him in that too. Because he really liked that. He was kind of sad that it was only 5 sessions. But it was good. And it's kind of fun because, you know, it's always the same kids. Like even on his hockey team, there is a few kids that it's their first year playing hockey, but they've been playing soccer with him for 3 or 4 years, and they've been on Dave's team. So when they saw that it was, you know, my husband, that was their coach, they were like, the parents, you know, sent emails and saying that the kids were like, yay! So it's kind of neat. It's fun. It's like, and it's sad to say, but it's like my husband and I have our social life again. Which, when Josh was in hockey, the parents were closer to our age. Now the parents are closer to my daughter's age, but the parents are really, really nice. Really nice. Actually, we kind of like the, I don't know, we kind of struggled with the city that my son was playing soccer with, because it's a predominantly, and I mean, I'm French, so, you know, but it's predominantly a French city, and my son was English, so he really had a hard time connecting with the kids because they didn't speak English. They could, but they just didn't. So he always felt like he was out of the conversations and all this stuff. So we had start putting, because I know I'm going to get, well, if you're French, why didn't you put your kids in French school? We had started, like my oldest daughter, she's bilingual. My second daughter is somewhat bilingual. She can understand. She just has a harder time speaking. But the school, my oldest daughter got bullied for 7 years. Like really, really, really bad, to the point that the teacher called me to see how, you know, how she was at home, because he was afraid for her. He was afraid that she was going to hurt herself, because that's how bad it was. He said, I've never seen it that bad. Believe me, I complained to the principal, like they would, you know, hurt her in the play, like schoolyard. And then she was the one that would get sent to a psychologist so that she could handle getting bullied. And I'm like, and then the kids were like, see, we told you that you're, you know, basically not using very good language. We're not even getting punished. You're the one that's being sent. And that principal, oh my goodness. So needless to say, I pulled my kids out of that school, and there was no other French school. So that's why Josh is English. Because I was like, no, I'm not supporting that whatsoever at all. And then the school that we went to, we went and met with the principal, and we said, how do you deal with bullying? Because we've had enough. And she said, no, we don't deal with bullying. And I said, well, I will be on your doorstep every day until something is done, because I'm not dealing with that again. And they were a really good school. And I said, what about swearing in the halls? Because this other school, don't forget, this wasn't even a middle school. It was kindergarten to grade 6. And the F word was going around like it was nobody's business. And I'm like, I don't think, and teachers were walking by and they weren't saying anything. And I'm like, I don't think that's right. You know, like they're too young to be. And she's like, oh no, we don't tolerate that here. And I'm like, okay. And so we did like that school. The other 2 kids, Katie went to that French school till grade 2, and then we pulled them out. And then by then, my oldest, which was the one that was getting bullied really bad, she went to high school, and we sent her to the English district, because sending her to the French district wasn't going to do anything, because all the bullies were going there. And I don't know how I got on this subject, but all that to say, if your kids are being bullied, man, we need to stand up for our kids. Years later, we were talking to a police officer, totally unrelated. My daughter witnessed something, and they needed her, what she had seen or whatever. So the police officer came to our house, and so we started talking about that, and she gave us our card, and she said, that is not right. Schools are not, and this was her words, not mine, but I kind of agree with her. I think schools are getting better, but we're talking 20 years ago, right? 30 years ago, 25 years ago. She said schools are not sticking up for the kids. So if this happens to you again, here's my card. Call the police. We will go and we will talk to the bullies. And I was like, yes. And then years later, something did happen with Josh. And I just dealt with it right away. It happened on the bus. And I went right to the bus driver and I said, you know, this is what happened. And I'm telling you right now, I'm not going to put up with it. And the bus driver, I wasn't mean to him. Like I just said, this is what happened. And I know that you don't know because he was a good bus driver. And, but I'm letting you know that if it happens again, it's not going to stay there. I will take action. And I got on the bus. I never talked to the kids, but they knew. I said, I will call the police. I will not put up with bullies. And he said, don't worry, it's not going to happen again. And it never happened again. Well, that my son told me. He told me years later that, like about a month ago, and I think that's why it's on my mind right now, that he was being bullied in high school. And he never told me. I was mad at him. Like, why didn't you tell me? He said, because I knew you were going to go in there and lift the roof. And I said, absolutely. And he said, well, it wouldn't have helped anything. I said, well, I don't know about that. But so anyway, and whenever I hear about bullying, I don't like it. And the thing is, it happens in work situations too. Like, I don't like bullies. Okay, well, I'm really liking this. I want to use that butterfly. And it really has nothing to do with Mason because Mason didn't do this. But soccer just reminds me of that. When Josh was little and he played soccer, he didn't play long. Just wasn't a sport. He would be, running around and then all of a sudden he'd be like, butterfly. And he'd just take off with the butterfly and we'd be like, one time he was in net and we're like, Josh, because someone was coming down and I mean, he just stretched and he made the save and all the parents were just laughing. They were just little, but that he just didn't enjoy soccer. I think he played until he started playing hockey, and then he was like, no, I don't want to play soccer anymore. I don't like soccer. So we said, okay. So we just played hockey. I'm just going to put that there. Love. Now I don't know why. A lot of these I didn't put enamel dots. I don't know where my head was. Oh, how about if I put some orange hearts? I don't get to use a lot of these because they're orange. And I don't put a lot of orange on my layout. So how about that? And maybe I should put some stuff behind that one. Maybe this. They're not sticking very well. So I'll put that. Yeah, that's not sticking at all. Okay, it was totally coming out a few seconds ago. And now nothing is coming out. I love these, but I find that they do plug out really easy. There we go. They're easy to fix though, so. I used to have these all the time, but those, I can't get them to unplug. Like I have to take them to my wash, like in the sink, and I have to soak it. And it's to me, it's like, no. Those ones here, I've never had to do that. I just need to unplug it and then it works. So I'm gonna glue these down right away because And I don't think I'm going to put a date on this because I need to, we took pictures, like there's always a photographer that comes. So we have professional pictures of every year, and it says the year on the picture. So I'm just going to go look at that picture to make sure, but I'm pretty sure he was 4 here. It's so funny. He came to work last week because he was, his team was selling some hockey calendars, like Wildcats calendars, to raise money for his team. And I had sold a few more, so my husband was bringing them to work, and Mason was with him. So he's like, oh, well, I'll just bring Mason. And I was like, okay, well, since you're here, you can deliver them. And I want you to say, you know, thank you so much for supporting my team. Well, we were about 12 or 13 that day, and they all went around the desk to where like he was, and it made him super shy, which normally he's not, but I think it was just like too many people. So he I got him to say thank you, but the rest of, he was like, no, Emmy, I can't. But he's like, thank you. So it was cute. And they were all like, oh my goodness, he doesn't look like he's 6. He's a bit tall kid. Tall kid. Okay, I just need one tiny, I'm always left with these. Look at that, like all these bigger ones. I wish they wouldn't even make those. Just make them the other size. I'm just going to use it. Okay. So I have all of these, all the same size. I'm just going to put them all on the same thing here. Hopefully I get to use them. There. That is awesome. I better put the cover on this. Oops. Okay, so I'm going to get something. I wonder, you know what? This is not sticking either. Oh, I don't know what. Ooh, what happened there? I dropped the whole thing right off. Okay, there. That's going to stay there. Now I'm going to go get the orange ink or mist and the black mist. And here's black and dried marigold. I kind of like that orange. It's not too orange. Oh, that's not black. Oh, black's already here. There we go. So I just need the cover. So a few things I talked about that now Monday, Wednesday, Fridays is going to be layouts. Tuesdays and Saturdays is going to be diamond painting. And I think on Thursdays, I'm going to start a new series. I don't know how long it's going to take, but it's going to be organizing. I just want to organize a few things. And it's not necessarily all like my scrap room. It could be one day working on those layouts that needs to be put away. And that kind of stuff, like just organizing mainly my craft room, but it's stuff in my craft room. Might be a drawer that I want to clean up. Might be some layouts that I want to put in albums, journal on them. So that kind of stuff. So I think that's going to start this Thursday. So I'm not going to put a date. I'm going to look that up, but I'm going to put it right here. So that's it. That's going to complete this layout. I really like how many pattern papers I ended up using. Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I lost count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6, 7. 7 different pattern papers. So that's pretty cool. Let me see if I could, let's see if we can use one more. How about right there? I really like this pattern. Let's cut it down. So that's the key. You just kind of, you know, take patterns and tuck them. Yeah, like that. Tuck them in behind the other, maybe cut it down, stretch it. And then also another thing that's going to be coming up is my December daily. I'm going to be kind of prepping for that, because if I wait till December 1st, I'm going to be in trouble again. So I'm going to start early, I think. So what days left for that? Probably Sunday. And maybe if I have too many videos, because starting December, I think what I'm going to do with December daily, I'm going to make it daily. But those videos aren't going to be very long, because it's going to be December 1st. I'm going to do December 1st. Or maybe what I'm going to do is December. That's going to be hard, because taking the picture and then doing it the same day. We will see. I have to think about that a little bit more. But so yeah, the next 2 months, finishing off the year strong. I'm going to have videos very consistently, which I am happy about, because October, I didn't drop the ball, because I was still uploading. I was still doing something every day. It's just that it was for Scrapathon. We got 31 pages done in a month. Oh, which reminds me, next week, is that next week? I think it's next week. It's Black Friday. I think that's next week. Or the week after. The week after, I think. So I'm going to have a Black Friday sale on my classes. So more info coming soon on that. But it's going to run for a few days. So my classes will go on sale. I kind of like this. So I love using these strips. I love that they started doing that. Putting little patterns on the bottom. I'm just going to make a little tail on that one, because I don't want to cut off the one. There. Just trying to make it that I'm using as much as I can out of that page kit. There's still tons, don't get me wrong, tons, but I had grabbed a lot of pattern papers, like scraps. So I knew I wasn't going to use them all. Okay, now I think I'm good. So now that's going to complete this layout. And I want to thank you so much for watching. Bye.